Okay guys, I've got another setup for you in the Ruf Gt3 at the Bugatti track. Time of the day was very early, so the grip levels were a little bit lower than if you run it at 1 PM. I'll explain that a little bit after. So the lap time's slightly slower than what you should be getting if you're running at, say, 1 PM. So we're going to go through the quick little track guide. We're going into first corner. We want to use a bit of the track on the left there, keep it nice and tight in on that first corner. Then we're braking down into third gear. Don't cut that corner, just skim the curb, and then again skim the curb there, and then use a bit of the curb there on the left, but not too much. Coming down into a tricky braking zone now, where I use that little sign on the left to brake down into third gear, and I like to stay nice and tight into the right hand side. I don't like to run wide. And then I could have used a bit more track on the left there by getting on the power a little bit earlier, but I didn't actually do that. So braking down into third gear just as that little bridge goes over, staying nice and tight in on the apex, and then hard down on the power as we come into this right-hander tricky little corner where we're going to brake just on the curb on the left and go down into second gear, and we're going to keep it nice and tight in. I like to keep it nice and tight and then hard on the power into third gear and use a little bit of the curb on the left on the exit. And we're coming into the S bend now, where you need to be careful not to cut this bend. There's so much time to be gained if you do cut it, but track limits are important. So we're braking into third gear on that side on the left. We're just going to use a little bit of the curb on the left there, and then again on the right there, keeping the tyres always within the white lines on the far hand side. And we're coming into the right hander where we're going down into third gear, nice and tight again on the spend, and then down in, we can actually go into second gear or third gear. I stay in third gear on this lap, and we're going to go hard on the power again, and then down into the second gear for this corner sometimes, or third. I stayed in third there, just using a bit of the track on the left there, and then hard on the power over the curb. It's a really tricky bend to get right. There's so many different ways to take it, but that's how I took it on that go. That was a 133.911. The Ruf isn't the fastest car around there. I found the SLS when I tried it was much faster, but obviously with the time of the day, if you're running at 1 PM, you're going to be lucky. If you run this at midday, you should be getting 33.5s, I'd say, in this car, doing a clean lap. If you're going to be online and you're going to be like taking a bit more over the curves and that, you're probably going to get it close to a 32. Anyway, tyre pressures, if you're running them at 1 PM, you want to be adding about 5 bar to each of the settings I've got there at least, because at 1 PM it's going to be warmer. If the sun's out, the track will heat up and your tyres will heat up a lot more, so you want to be adding at least 5 bar to each of them pressures. Brake pressure is 77, brake bias we had 59, and brake duct 35 for the race. Obviously running that down to about 20 for qualifying I found was the best. 15 was okay, but I'm finding that opening them up seems to be a bit more stable now. I don't know if it's something they've added in on a patch, but it seems to be more stable if you open them a bit. Gear, everything like this was standard. 30% for the AV. I did this setup to last the whole 39 laps on one set of soft tyres, so we had it on 30% there. I should have really upped that to 35% for qualifying, because it would have given me maybe a few temps, but limited slip could have also gone down to 90 for qualifying, but I didn't do it. I like to keep everything as it's going to be for the race, so that I'm used to it for when I get in the race, if you understand what I'm saying. But this setup lasted 39 laps and didn't really drop off at the end. The lap times were still hitting medium 35s. As you can see, they were quite soft on some settings but really aggressive on other settings. I did tinker with some stuff, and it did seem to help the setup keep the tyres. In terms of downforce, you'll see in a minute when we get there, we went for a higher rear downforce, obviously to protect the rears for the end of the race, which really did help at the end when it came to lap times. The cambers, again, they're quite high on all of them. I find with the Ruf definitely best. So there we ran 5. If you're running qualifying and you're only bothered about short for 5 lap racing, you're not bothered about tyres, 0304 is definitely faster. It was about 2 temps faster I found when I was practicing, but 05 was definitely the best for keeping your tyres for the full length of the race. I managed 39 laps without any real drop off in performance from the tyres. They were definitely losing a bit of grip on the front and a little bit trickier on acceleration, but they managed to keep the times within 135s, medium 135s, and when you're running on tyres at a 1, that's not bad at all. As usual, these settings are totally standard, and I'm going to leave you a little TV camera lap now, just so you can have a watch from the TV camera. And remember guys, if you like this video and you want to see more in the future, remember to hit that subscribe button and click the like button as well. Thanks for watching guys, and there'll be more setups coming soon.